Come and fly away with me. 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 Don't you be afraid, everything will change. You and I jumping off the edge. They say dreamers never die. So come and fly, come and fly, come and fly away with me. We're rising, we're falling, we're making through. We're climbing, we're soaring, 1,000
Hello, hello, hello to all of you positively amazing people of the Pop Culture Corner. It's me, your main man Meta coming at you with another episode of The Games That Made Us. And I'm still, as you can see, still getting used to finding my way around everything. There we go. There I am. Hi. Oh, what's going on, everyone? I am so excited to be here with all of you today. And as you read the title of the title of this video, excuse me, we're talking about gaming mascots. I was gonna just relegate this to like platformer mascots. The more I thought about it, there's been mascots for all different types of genres, and all of them need to be talked about, basically. So we got a panel coming. We got a panel that's going to be forming as we go along on this wonderful journey. But let's take a look at that chat. We got Jermaine in the chat. What's going on, man? Saying, yo, who's Meta? I mean, I'm Meta. We're all Meta here. That's the best part about this. Got Nick in the chat. What's going on? And Adam both say I'm a boss. Oh, I love that. Love to see that. Thank y'all for the support, man. Got Donovan in the chat. What's going on, dude? My favorite gaming mascot is Kratos. Kratos is a mascot. And Donovan, I saw later down in this chat. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Where's it at? They'll call me a chat. That's awesome, man. PlayStation's mascot is Sackboy. When we get to PlayStation on this journey, I have my opinions on that. I have my opinions on that. But before we can get to PlayStation, we got to go on a journey in our magic time machine all the way back to the 70s, because gaming mascots have been around practically since the creation of modern gaming, or what we know as gaming. And what do I mean by that? Well, even though this character, if it even is a character, doesn't have a name, one of the first iterations of a mascot, as far as I can tell, or as far as I'm concerned, really, is the aliens from Space Invaders. Space Invaders aliens are one of the most iconic things and iconic characters in all of gaming. And for a while, that was the mascot of the arcades. The arcades were where the mascots first truly arrived on the scene and thrived and shined. We're going to talk about all these individually. But you had Space Invaders, and then you had Pac-Man, and then you had Miss Pac-Man, and then you had Dig Dug, and so many other mascots being held. Donkey Kong is considered an arcade mascot before he was a home console name. He was the arcade mascot. But that's in the 80s. We're still focused on the 70s. So, just show of hands or show of thumbs up emojis, I guess. How many of you out there have even played Space Invaders? Because I may be 26, but I love me some Space Invaders, man. Space Invaders is awesome. I'm looking up some statistics for Space Invaders because let me just also say this, that even back in the 70s, the gaming industry kept grossing billions of dollars in revenue for their respective countries. To the point where places that had Space Invaders they were just known as like they had a special name to them. For those that if y'all have a Netflix account, I recommend watching High Score, which is a documentary on gaming up to the 90s. It's so great. And Space Invaders is one of the first things it talks about. Space Invaders came out in 1978. It was it was an arcade cabinet. It was on the Atari 2600. Taito helped publish it, and with Atari and Midway and so many other companies have had their hands on this iconic title. And so, I mean, the designer was I'm trying to make sure I pronounce his name right before saying it. Tomohiro Nishikado. There we go. I said it right. Y'all. Hey! Japanese names are great. But yeah, this game, man, it was such a big hit in Japan that literal arcades were dedicated to nothing but Space Invaders. Like people would these arcade owners would buy nothing but like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Space Invader machines and just line them up, and they just raked in quarters and coins, or yen for the Japanese. It's yen. But yeah, I'm and I mean, another thing about it is Space Invaders was inspired by, just like is created by someone else's imagination or inspiration, right? So the creator of Space Invaders, he was inspired by Star Wars. He was inspired by War of the Worlds. He was inspired by the sci-fi that was happening around him and of his time. And I just think that that's so awesome that translates to Space Invaders. We got Lewis in the chat. What's going on, Lewis? I haven't watched the Batman Bloody Polar. Hey, Andrew, what are you doing? Well, Lewis, to answer your question, the Games That Made Us is a game series I've been doing on my channel, and I decided to bring it over here to Pop Culture Corner to to get my hands a little dirty in this corner of YouTube, to offer some extra content for Ty and all that. But yeah. Donovan saying, almost forgot to Pikachu as a mascot. Also. Yeah. Oh, of course we're gonna get to those, Donovan. Of course, those are like some of the most iconic. Those are some of the most iconic mascots. I don't know. I just forgot the mascots in gaming. Especially, there is not a person, at least within like 3 generations, that doesn't know who Mario and Sonic are, and I would say 2 generations that don't know who Pikachu is. Like, we're going to get to those, but we got to slowly work our way up there, man. Mario wasn't the first mascot ever made. We got someone far more popular than him after Space Invaders. He looks like a pizza that's missing a slice. Pac-Man. We're going to get to Pac-Man in just a second. But I just wanted to run over some facts about Space Invaders, before we did that. So... yeah, he was inspired by and so when you look at the game design when you look at the design of Space Invaders, it's made like games of that time were, like top down screen, enemies coming from one side of the screen or objects on one side of the screen, your little characters on the other side, and you're launching something or throwing, projecting, shooting, whatever you want to call it. You're doing all of that to get a high score. Because back then, high scores were what really arcades were about, and just games were about in general. It wasn't about the story, the characters, the environment, any of that, because all you had was a black screen and little dots coming down at you. Like, but yeah, like, just nuts. The concept. What's going on, TW? Got him in the chat. The concept of a score. Yeah, I mean, and Adam is saying Pac-Man has to be the most iconic. Like, He really was. And when you get to why he was made, oh, I'm sorry, Jermaine. I didn't mean to cut out a little, man. I'm sorry. When you get to why Pac-Man was made, though, it's nuts because he actually wasn't made. Of course, I know what Pokemon is, and favorite Pokemon is Cyndaquil. Okay, Cyndaquil is cute. I'm looking forward to those new ones, though. Then I'm looking forward to the new ones. We're gonna get to Pokemon in a little bit, but yeah, I just wanted to try to find some more facts than my general knowledge of Space Invaders, just to Oh, okay. There we go. Just a little bit extra information. Um, so it turns out Space Invaders was actually the first to keep and record your high score. That is interesting. That is interesting. Yeah, because that's if you think about it, like arcades for the long, even like now, keep your high score. But Space Invaders was the first game that actually did that, so that it felt like there was a challenge. You could take, you and your buddies would go after school with a handful of quarters, your allowance, whatever, pop them in, and see who can get the high score for the day on Space Invaders, and that meant a fun time with friends all around. Even if old Tommy over there, he did pull some sly moves with that one shot. He hit 3 and he should have hit 2, but it's whatever. It was also the first shooter game too, because like Missile Command, like okay, because there's a lot of old games that I would love to talk about. I might even do one just on like the 70s, because the 70s is actually a great era in gaming. Without it, we wouldn't be here. God, there's so many, like Centipede, Asteroids, Missile Command, like just, oh my God, I love it all. Like Pong was, but Pong, which Pong is something. But Pong was it for gaming for a while, and Breakout and all that. And then Space Invaders comes along where you're actually shooting. You don't have to wait on a ball to hit it. You're shooting down the aliens as they come across. And also Space Invaders had one of the first kind of tournaments ever for gaming. It was like the very early days of gaming, and it was like an esport like tournament event for gamers, and that's talked about in the documentary a little bit in more detail. But yeah, that I just think that's interesting. Like even esports can trace itself back to the very roots of gaming. Mario has been super. He's been everything, Lewis. He's been everything. But yeah, like Space Invaders was the first shooter game. It established like the skeleton for other games like Asteroids and Missile Command, and even helped like early first-person shooter games like Battlezone exist. And it also revitalized an industry that really like people think that the 80s were like the the video game generation started in the 80s, but now the 70s were where it was at, bro. Like in the mid 1970s, Pong, Atari 2600s, and all that stuff. When Space Invaders came on the scene, the industry was going through that slump. They were going through like a little bit of a slump at the time. Due to the lack of different choices and how technology was and everything. And when Space Invaders introduced shooters, the industry had something new. It had something excited, and of course, it's going to have something that it's going to exploit the crap out of. But that's what all games do. Okay, here's what I didn't know. This game Space Invaders had a sequel. What even? Space Invaders 2 came out as a tabletop 2-player model. Oh, that's cool. There have been 9 sequels to the original game. Jesus. Like it's okay. And yeah, that's nuts. How many Space Invaders do you need? Space Invaders 2 Invasion Boogaloo. I knew that was coming, DW. I knew one of you guys were gonna do that in the chat. Oh Lord. Yeah, despite it's the creator, like apparently the creator also wanted to remain anonymous for as long as he could. Um, he waited until 2013 to receive credit. Good God! Wait, what? Oh yeah, here it is. This goes deeper on one of the points I mentioned earlier. Uh, Again, it was inspired by Breakout and everything like that. The aliens originally planned to be planes and tanks, but Taito didn't want to present an image of war, so he made it, more like Star Wars. And the anime space battleship Yamato, spaceship battleship Yamato, and War of the Worlds and everything like that. Just awesome. Oh yeah, this one. I forgot about this one. Yeah, you're good, man. Jeez Louise. This is interesting though. So the initial sales were slow. Space Invaders soon boomed in popularity after its 1978 Japanese debut. People were lining up around the block to play it. The game's huge popularity actually led to a long-lived urban legend in Japan. According to the rumors, so many people were playing Space Invaders that it led to a nationwide shortage of 100 yen coins. That is a heck of a rumor. The rumor is proven untrue. Fewer 100 yen coins were minted in 78 and spent on Space Invaders, but that's still a nuts rumor. Like, imagine. So I'd be like, I heard that there's a yen shortage. Oh, what's doing it? Video games. Wait, what? Oh, wow. This is something okay. So it's saying also here, a story circulated in Japan about a 12-year-old boy robbing up a bank to use the coins on Space Invaders. Similar stories occurred in the UK, leading to a backlash. Parents and teachers believe the game contributed to burglaries and juvenile delinquency. And one politician even drafted a bill to ban the game because, of course, they did. Guys, we have not changed since the 70s. We have not changed. Politicians have been trying to ban games for damn near 40, 50 years. They're trying to ban Space Invaders. Oh, I'm actually getting a very good kick out of that. That's funny. Oh my god, the bill failed, but this wouldn't be the last time video games be blamed for misbehaving kids. No, and of course not. And it also was, for of course, the first killer app for the Atari 2600. It literally made their system. The music is also iconic. The Space Invaders had a medical condition. I'm sorry, what? Because of the game's popularity, doctors began dealing with numerous cases of stiffness in wrists, hands, and elbows from people who played for long periods. Good grief. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a break from learning about Space Invaders medical conditions to bring on our first panelist. Please welcome Mr. RJ, and I'm going to have to fix the screen now.
Oh, no, you're fine. It's all good. Hello, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well out there. I see we were talking about some video game mascots.
A lot of stuff. Where do
I think you are lagging, Meta.
I lag.
Yeah, you lagged bad.
Yeah, I am lagging. I lag bad. And to help the lag get even worse, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring on a second panelist. You love it, Mr. TW. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. Oh, I'm glad to be back.
I feel very squished right now.
I'm sorry, RJ. Do you want me to move you?
No, it's fine. I'm messing around.
Don't hit him with the
at least you're squished by friends.
Yeah, well, you can change that, by the way. If you click on the little button in the StreamYard, you can change. There you go. There you go. That's better. There you go.
more elbow room.
Now I have some space. Thank you. But no, I mean, I'm not sure where you were in this discussion, but I feel like video game mascots have been like a pillar of the gaming industry for as long as gaming's been around. I mean, every company pretty much had a mascot. Everybody basically wanted to be either Sonic or Mario, so we got like a lot of interesting characters off of that, I mean, the earliest video game mascot you could probably think of is probably Pac-Man. but that was more like the arcade.
I actually consider the Space Invaders aliens to be before Pac-Man.
Interesting.
Because Space Invaders was such a craze that before Pac Fever even became a thing, Space Invaders was like one of the best-selling games. They were like, I was just reading some facts. Apparently, politicians tried to ban. There was a politician that tried to ban Space Invaders. So we've been dealing with politicians since the 70s.
Water wet, I guess. Breaking news.
Good
Water
grief!
wet.
Like, and also apparently there's like a medical condition where carpal tunnel basically happened for people that play too much Space Invaders.
Yeah, that was.
I can believe that.
Yeah, I was just going over like Space Invaders, and like it really did have a big impact on the gaming industry. You know, like it really did. I don't think that Space Invaders, like Pac-Man, of course, we're gonna get to him in just a moment, but I love Space Invaders as a game. Like, it's so much fun. It's right up there with Tetris. You could play it for hours on end and not get bored. That's what games are supposed to be. Those types of games are supposed to be made just for pure fun.
Yeah.
We can get to let's get to the first real, quote unquote, real mascot, Pac-Man. The yellow thing that literally was invented because someone took a slice out of a pizza and was like, "That's it." That's literally how they came up with him. That's it. That's the mascot. Oh, okay. What's I know we're because we're all gamers here, but I just have to ask for the simplicity of it. What's y'all's history with Pac-Man?
Not really a history per se. I mean, I played a lot of Pac-Man and stuff, but like not to where I'm like such a massive fan and like I'm just like, oh my god, it's like but it's funny. A lot of people were more into Mrs. Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man than the actual real Pac-Man. Like my mother, for example, was like super into Miss Pac-Man growing up, like crazy.
Which is interesting because Pac-Man was originally created to help get women into the gaming space.
Yeah. I mean, Pac-Man really brought in a lot of actual women into the gaming sphere. When you think about it, it's like a kind of this thing where like it's kind of like the unsung thing about the influence of like how it got women in particular, into gaming. I mean, the arcade systems in the 80s were really rejuvenated gaming for a while, and like kind of brought into like more of the mainstream culture for a while before the home consoles kind of became a bigger thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, the other thing about it is, like, Pac-Man as a concept was, again, something the gaming industry hadn't seen before. Because, like I was just saying, like, you know, we've gone, like, in just a short span from, like, Pong to Pac-Man, we have seen games go from, like, Pong and Breakout and all that to where it's basically just ping pong, basically, to Space Invaders, where you're actually, it's a little bit of an innovation with shooting. But now you have Pac-Man where you're this little yellow blob on a screen and you have to eat all these dots before these ghosts like get you.
But if you get the big shiny dot, you get to eat the ghosts.
And then and if you're really good at the game, you would get a bonus like with a cherry or a strawberry, and that would give you more points. Again, high scores were the main thing about Pac-Man and games back then. But Pac-Man was just so fresh and innovative. And before Mario had all the merchandise available for him, Pac-Man had an early cartoon. He had a cereal. Like, Pac-Man really was the first big gaming mascot. Pac-Man Fever was a thing. Pac-Mania was a thing.
And the reason I brought up in the chat the concept of a score was, like, if you look at pretty much every gaming genre outside of, like, really shooters and maybe a couple of other, you know, smaller genres, like the number of points you collect really isn't a thing. But it's really interesting to see kind of like random holdovers. Like, for example, I'm not sure if you could call him, I guess you'd call it a mascot, I guess. Mega Man, if you wanted to call Mega Man a mascot.
Yeah, Mega Man's a mascot.
Look at Mega Man 1. In the first Mega Man game, not only do you receive the Robot Master's ability when you defeat the Robot Master, you also receive a certain number of points. Like, it says, like, yeah, here's how many points you'll get if you beat this particular Robot Master. It's really interesting to see that kind of holdover in the transition even that late. That was what, 87, 88, something like that?
Yeah, the 80s were still like, the 80s were that transition period where story, or at least story, like 2% story, but still, like, story was becoming starting to come into form in gaming, but the high score still mattered. Even like in Mario, which, you know, got to save the princess from Bowser, but you still have that score at the top, and you try to beat that. Let's see. I'm just trying to, let's see. Lewis saying, let's see. Oh yeah, the TMNT game back in the day too was
no, not even that. The Simpsons arcade game.
Oh my God, Arcade 1UP has just been doing a great job with those. Like arcade, like the concept of a high score is still something that like gamers compete with. You know, they still compete for that. Even if it's not as mainstream as it used to be, the high score as a concept will always be a part of gaming, I think, because it's literally that. It's literally that. What am I trying to say? It's that competitive edge. It's that want to. I'm better than you. Oh yeah, how do you prove it? Who has the better score?
And I think one of the things is because, like, obviously these different genres have kind of shifted, so you really haven't needed scores in a lot of gaming genres. But for the stuff that exists, I think one of the things that helps keep the score around is more and more you're getting into what's what I'm looking for. You're actually getting rewards in some capacity for your high score, as opposed to just simply bragging rights. You know, simply being the top of the scoreboard, you might receive something else on top of that in some small way, whether it's, you know, whatever it might be.
Remind me, because I'm only saying this because I'll admit it right here now. I suck at Galaga. Did Galaga have power-ups?
Oh my gosh, it's been so long since I played Galaga. Oh god, I forget.
I suck at Galaga, so I don't know. I haven't made it past like level 2. I suck at Galaga. That game ain't getting a review anytime soon. I tell you that much right now. Galaga, you shoot ships, and you shoot alien ships. I quit. What's going on, Phil? He's saying his favorite mascot is Link. What's going on, Ty? A man Ty's in the chat saying his favorite is Mario. We're gonna have to get to Mario sooner than later.
Oh, yeah.
But there's just so damn many I want to talk.
Everybody wants to talk about Mario.
Everyone wants to talk about the damn Italian plumber that's going to be voiced by Chris Pratt.
I know, and you're very excited for that. I know.
Ooh, Ty, let me review that movie.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I was at family's house, but I was watching the Nintendo Direct stream that you guys hosted, and watching you guys react in real time to the casting announcements. I have never laughed so hard.
It was funny. It was funny.
Hilarious. So like RJ's laughing.
Seth Rogen is playing a gorilla.
RJ is laughing, and JP's just like, RJ, stop laughing, and he's like,
it's not funny.
It was funny.
It's upsetting.
It wasn't really
so
that. It's not that upsetting. I mean, come on.
It is for me because as someone who has ambitions to want to be a voice actor, this proves to me that Hollywood doesn't take it as a serious art form. Like we're second-class citizens.
We literally just had a situation about a show revival that proved that rather clearly, JP.
Well, actually, no, because it was resolved though. So
oh no, I'm saying I'm thankful it was resolved, but it just kind of
the point was still made.
Yeah,
like he came out and said why, but yeah, I don't know, man. Donovan says he's going to give Chris a chance. Good on you, Donovan. I will do no such thing.
Chris Pratt's not that bad an actor.
No, he's not. But I have a theory that he how do I put this? With voice acting, you can turn your voice into whatever person, creature, thing you want. And then there's Chris Pratt, who's just Chris Pratt. He doesn't
it'd be like having Harrison Ford as a voice actor.
Because, like, I'll be honest with you, like Onward, for example. Like, I know we're getting sidetracked, but just Onward, Onward with him and Tom Holland. In my opinion, I love that movie, but he was trying to put on a Jack Black performance as the brother. That's how I feel.
Interesting.
Because Jack Black would have been great because think about it. Think about how Jack Black is as a person and the characters he plays, and tell me that wouldn't have been a Jack Black role. the older brother.
Well, yeah, it probably could have been. Well, yeah, it was him kind of trying to do a Jack Black. Yeah, I can understand that.
No, actually, Lewis, I actually wouldn't. I can do a somewhat good. Hey, but it's almost as let's think about this. If only there was someone who's been voicing the character since, I don't know, the mid to late 90s, and he's been doing it for so long that he knows the character to a fault and a T. Oh, but let's just keep him as a cameo appearance.
But could he do a full movie though?
Yes.
That's the question, Meta. That is the question.
Here's my question. If that's the case, then why isn't Tails voiced by a celebrity? Instead, they actually got the voice actress to voice her.
She has more experience doing movies and stuff though, and cartoons.
What I'm interested in is this. What I'm interested in is this: is the fact that RJ. Have you ever played Mario Sunshine?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Yeah, like and
never finished it, but yeah, I played.
He talks throughout that, and it wouldn't have bothered me. I think in any case, it's in my opinion, when it comes to transitioning media, you should kind of get everybody back or get nobody back, if that makes anything, or at least put them in cameos. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm actually kind of more so for the idea of having a full on, I'm not necessarily full on stunt casting, but have different voice actors.
Donovan, you're simping for Anna Taylor-Joy. To be fair, Princess Peach never talked, so that's whatever. But Charles Martinet is a voice actor. He knows how to act. That's part of the job. He's done other roles besides Mario, but he voices Mario, Luigi, Waluigi, Wario. Like, oh my God, it still bothers. It'll never not bother me. Let me put it that way. It'll never not bother me about that.
Oh, we are well aware. We're not.
I'm more upset about this. That video that was sent out around the same time. Banana Slam. Don't you dare. What's worse is thinking of making a Donkey Kong Country movie after this with him.
Well, yeah, they're going to make a Nintendo universe because they have to.
Do not say there's going to be a Smash Bros. Movie.
No. What I'm saying is that they're going to make like a Mario universe because they're making Super Mario Land in the American theme parks. Yeah,
Universal, which is also probably why they went to Illumination, because doesn't Illumination have a thing with Universal?
Yes, I think.
Don't know.
I could have sworn Minions were spotted at Universal at one point.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they are.
Then you're right, RJ. That makes all the sense in the world. They damn sure ain't going to Disney. It probably took a miracle for Sakurai just to get a hold of Sora, let alone.
Look at all of the stained glass backgrounds, right? Like all of the ones that are feature Sora in sort of the dive into the hard sections.
Yeah.
No Disney characters.
I wonder why.
There's no Mickey.
The two big corporations that are good at being stingy don't want to play nice with each other.
I mean, they had Disney games on there before. They had Epic Mickey and stuff like that.
I know, but what I mean is like you're not going to have Mickey anywhere near Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Just like we're not have Goku near Smash Bros. But
hey, never say never. Never say never.
I heard enough of that from one side of the fandom. I don't need it from you.
That is true.
Oh, I just love how I've been pissing off everyone. I just asked a simple question, and I get shit for it. I love life. Anyway, I love life. Anyway, back to Pac-Man. Or no, because I mean, honestly, Pac-Man is going to be around forever. Honestly, like he really is, and so is the next one. We're already on Mario.
Let's go.
Mario is probably going to have. There is not going to be a generation that I can see in the future that will not have at least played or at least experienced Mario once.
It's like he's going to be as ubiquitous. I would say argue in some capacity, at least in certain markets, particularly Japanese and North American markets, but definitely global. You could probably, a kid under the age of 12 could probably pick Mario out just as easily as they could pick out Mickey Mouse.
The Holy Trinity. Kids can pick out Mickey Mouse, Mario, and Jesus Christ.
What a great timeline we live in.
What a great timeline we live in. Oh,
Your words,
and
not.
probably not Louis. I'll be honest with you. Like, since we're on this, I actually am interested in hearing Charlie Day's Luigi. I can't lie, I am.
Same here, and
I-
I love Charlie Day anyway. So
So I'll say I'm more excited for the side characters than actually Mario
I'm
and
not lying.
Donkey Kong.
If Bowser at some point uses a rocket ship
Oh my
to
god!
kidnap
No.
Princess Peach, I just need
TW.
Charlie Day to go spaceship.
But
You know?
because it's voiced by Jack Black. What if there's a reference to Tenacious D?
I'd
That
like to
could
see them.
happen.
I'd like to
That
see
could
them
happen.
try.
That would be fantastic. I can't wait. That's another one. I can't wait to hear Jack Black's Bowser.
Don't call him Jackson.
Don't call him Jackson. That was the other funny thing is that the translator had to, because of honoraries, had to call him. He's like, Chris son, he's so cool. And I'm like, oh, there's some great YouTube videos reacting to that, folks. Please look it up. Arlo's is the best. Arlo's reaction had me in tears.
I gotta go watch that one.
Oh my god, he's
Yeah,
just
actually-
like cackling. He's cackling.
Yeah. And I think what's interesting actually is Mario. I think because of how much time, he's Nintendo's golden boy, if you will, is unlike there's a lot of mascots that haven't kind of because of their length, they've actually transitioned into different genres. You've got Pac-Man, if you want to go back, wasn't just in his own games. He had, like 2D platformers. He had sort of
Pac-Man
2.5D versions of his,
Yeah.
of his other games. And then Mario's been in a bunch of different things. You've got sports games, you've got platformers, you've got fighting games, you
have assistant typing games. You have Mario is Missing,
yeah.
which isn't good. It's an education game, and Mario isn't even in it. It's Luigi.
Yeah,
I would love, before Luigi's Mansion spinoff with Charlie Day, we need to do a Mario is Missing with Charlie Day.
maybe put them into the same
okay
story.
with that.
Put
So
them
what?
into the same story. Mario was missing anyway, right?
Oh my god. His reward for fighting Mario. You get this mansion. Oh
What were you
boy.
saying, RJ?
No, see, I would strangely be okay with that. I would not mind a Luigi is Missing kind of game. You know what? Bring back the CDI games too. Why not? Screw it.
I've said this before.
hold on,
I've
hold
said
on.
this before. I would actually like to. I think you could actually do reasonably an actual, factual, proper Zelda 2D platformer where you have two. But what you do is, supposed to having two games. You have one game, and you can select either. You either select at Zelda or Link at the beginning, or you play through Link's story or Zelda's story and unlock the other playthrough at the end. I think you could do it, and especially do like a kind of Monster Boy sort of hand drawn or to sort of.
If
kind of
that
thing like
happened,
that.
TW, do you know who I would want to handle it? They'd have to outsource it, but do you know who I'd want to handle that?
Who?
Way Forward.
Yeah, I could see. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
would be- that would be
As soon as you
good.
said 2D platform, I went Way
That
Forward.
would be good. I mean, on top of Shantae, you've also got they also handled the DuckTales remaster, and the way that looks, especially for the time, looks really good.
It still holds up, and so
Yeah.
that would be great. But Nintendo is just the house of mascots, because you have Mario, Zelda, my favorite, Metroid, my other favorite, Donkey Kong, not voiced by an unfunny man.
We'll discuss that. We'll discuss that in a moment. You have my favorite, who's Kirby. Kirby's actually my favorite Nintendo mascot.
Kirby car.
The Kirby car. What were the things he turned into? Was it a vending machine and
A vending machine, a car.
Cone.
I'm waiting. A what?
Cone.
A cone.
yes.
Kirby cone.
I'm not lying. I could see them selling that at like Super Nintendo Land. Like
I can see that
it's a
being the
scoop
construction cones for Nintendo World at Universal. Yeah, like
like a scoop of like raspberry sherbet or something with two candies for blue eyes.
oh god. Or they could just do like the remember like the ice cream trucks that used to sell like the face popsicles.
Yeah, I
Have
think
one for Kirby.
I think I might have had one as a child. I could be misremembering, but I think I might have had one as a child.
those were just epic. Like those things were just epic. Mario, I think, had one. And then of course, like there are other mascots that Nintendo has, and I'm gonna name some obscure ones. The first obscure one I'm gonna talk about is Chibi Robo.
Interesting choice.
Because
I
Chibi Robo,
thought you were going to start old and then go to new, but okay.
I'm starting obscure. I'm going into left field. And to quote Scott the Woz on that, wait, should I know about this? Are you lonely? No. Then no. Like, Chibi Robo is such an obscure character that
That's true.
only true-hearted Nintendo fans or kids that just knew a kid that had this game know what this character is.
Yeah.
And the worst part is, I agree with Scott. He did a whole thing about this. Chibi Robo is such a marketable character, and they don't know how to properly use him.
Yeah. And I agree, because, well, didn't they have like 3 different games that are all like different genres?
Not just that. So, and again, I'm just basically re-quoting Scott the Woz here. The original game comes out on GameCube. When GameCube games were being ported to the Wii, Chibi Robo was on there, but then they locked it as a region Japan exclusive.
Oh, I love those so much.
And then,
As an RPG fan, I love those so much.
and then they came out with the sequel, and then they made the sequel exclusive to Walmart.
Wait, it was a Walmart exclusive?
It was a Walmart exclusive, not
Why
GameStop.
would it be a Walmart exclusive? Okay.
I've heard of Walmart
It's so
exclusive
funny.
like albums and things like that, but that's odd.
Like it's so odd, and I'm just thinking, Walmart, did y'all really? Like, let me. I have to pull up a picture. It's like the Walmart exclusive logo is just so funny to me.
Oh,
And then they had like a mobile game, and I think that was also region locked.
just from I don't know, I'm not thinking about us talking about covers. I just thought about us destroying
Is that it?
Jimbo's mind the last time we were all here together.
They removed the logo. Those cowards.
Oh,
It was a Nintendo DS game. Lewis, your guess is as good as mine. It's Nintendo. They don't sometimes think when they make decisions. Oh God! But yeah, the name of the game was Chibi Robo Park Patrol, and it was like a regular Chibi Robo game. You know, it used the dual screen, it used the touch screen, which again, touch controls for Chibi Robo make sense. They make too much sense.
yeah.
And yeah, they marketed it, and then like Nintendo just got desperate and they made Chibi Robo Ziplash, which
Oh,
they were like, and they basically, I agree with Scott. They threatened the community like, hey, if you want this character to keep having games potentially coming out in the future, buy this game. And it's just like,
oh, they've done that. Nintendo likes to do that. I mean, well, literally, what was it? It was after, was it Melee? Who were the Fire Emblem characters, RJ, that were in Melee?
I think it was Roy,
Was it Roy
and
and Marth?
Ike. No, I think it was Roy and Ike.
But I know that after that came out, they were putting out the GBA Fire Emblem game, which was like at that
Yeah,
point,
those are
I
the
think,
first ever Fire Emblem games I think we got in
the
the
seventh
West.
or eighth entry in
Mhm.
the series at that point in Japan. They said, okay, if this game,
Phil says Roy and Marth.
that's what I figured.
Oh,
Thank
was it
you-
Roy and
thank you,
Marth?
Phil.
Okay, I thought it was Ike, but
No, I think
And
Ike
then,
was in
Wait,
Brawl.
there we go. Phil also says he would like Zelda to get the Cuphead treatment.
I agree, and like that's really what I was going for. Where you have like a proper like orchestral arrangement, and you can have painted like actual painted back like things that look like painted backgrounds, but where you can still see the platforms, not like whatever the heck they did in the CDI games.
Would
But
you
yeah.
be okay with like, you know how they always use this in every game as like a background, but as an aesthetic, tempered glass? Or no, not for the whole aesthetic, but part of the aesthetic.
What do you mean tempered gold? What do you
So,
mean?
like, you know how, like, because Zelda's set in a medieval fantasy universe, they
Oh,
have
like
all those,
stained
like,
glass. Oh, okay.
yeah,
I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, I like it. It makes sense in the case of like, Castlevania. It makes sense because you're in churches and things like Gothic churches and things like
Right.
that. That makes sense. But for Zelda, I guess because there isn't a lot with the world itself, from what I can remember. Like you could see it maybe here and there to do something a little bit different, to give it some flavor. But I'm not sure if you could do something with it if you wanted to go like 2.5D. You could have the
there's
glass
options.
break
I
and
mean,
the
I
boss
really
comes
like
in
the
the
Link's
background.
Awakening remake. I wouldn't mind to see like a full game made that style. So,
oh yeah, that would be good. But
That'd be fun.
could you? I'm gonna make TW a very happy, optimistic person now. Imagine if they remade the Capcom Zelda games, Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of
That'd be interesting. Ages.
Ages. Thank you, Oracle of Seasons and Ages. I always forget one of the two.
That'd be really interesting. And no, because like a friend of mine is really, really into those. Because I never played those ones as a kid, but like my friend loves those games, and that would be a really interesting thing to do. I'm not sure if I would do it in that style, like in the style of what they did for Link's Awakening. I think because Link's Awakening was so dreamlike, if you look at the story, right? It made sense to kind of do something that felt a little bit kind of out there in a way. But I don't know. I mean, again, I don't know. I'm definitely one of those people where sometimes I don't know what I want until I'm shown it, except for like a Star Wars game, which like I have a whole thing for. No, I have like a whole dream Star Wars game in my head of what I
Right.
wanted to see. But as far as Zelda, like I think I'm one of the people where it's very much show me the thing, or kind of give me some. I might say, okay, here's what I'd like to see in a very loose way, like open world Zelda, like how we got for Breath of the Wild, which I still need to play.
I still haven't played it either, actually, and I actually own the game on Switch. I just haven't touched it.
Would you guys consider Kirby to be a Nintendo mascot at this point?
Yeah.
Because they own HAL Laboratory now, so it makes sense.
Also, like, for those that don't know, like, the fact that Nintendo, because again, like, this is back when Nintendo was the little guy, and Universal was like, hey, ironic as hell that they're working with Universal with this.
Yes, it is.
Because they're the ones that sued them over Donkey Kong.
I think the best part about it was the judge looked at the case and they found out that Universal didn't own the rights earlier, otherwise, because King Kong had already entered the public domain or something like that at that point.
Yeah, because this is before Disney messed with public domain.
300 hours, Phil. Wow. I've done that with RPGs. That's amazing. Also, and what was I going to say? Relating to RPGs before we go back to the conversation.
Well, actually,
RJ, have you played through all the way through Xenoblade Chronicles 1?
The first one, no. I need to get back into it. I never finished it, which is disappointing.
Yeah, because I'm on chapter 4 myself.
I really like the game, though.
It's great.
It's just the same problem I had with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 when I first played that. I start and play those kind of games and never finish them.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump in between y'all real quick. We have another panelist joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the lovely Rhea. How are you doing today, Miss Rhea?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm sorry I'm a little late.
Oh, no, you're fine. We honestly have just been like going. There was a tangent and it's broken now. We're not going to fix it. Probably. No, we're going to fix it. But we're honestly just talking about Nintendo.
Yeah, we're trying to talk about gaming mascots, kind of.
We're just talking about, honestly, there's so many, the way I looked at it, Ray, was there's so many Nintendo mascots. We could just jump like to different franchises and just talk about them. And we've mostly been focused, I feel like, more on Zelda than Mario, actually, just because Zelda, like, there's so many possibilities we want to see Zelda achieve.
Yeah, for me, Link as a mascot for the Zelda series, like, is great. Like, I love how, like, every new game this character is in, they have a new representation or character design. So there's that, and it's kind of already like known that every Link is like a different version of Link. It's never like the same Link in every game. What I would like is potentially a a mainline series game where we can play as and correct me if I'm wrong if there has been already signs of this where a mainline game allowed us to play the whole story through as either Zelda or Linkle or other other protagonists as well or supporting characters from the series.
Wasn't the Breath of the Wild DLC something like that?
Not exactly. No, I mean, there's the last time I feel like Zelda's been playable was like, I guess we want to count it like the Hyrule Warrior type games, like.
That's what I'm thinking of.
But it's not exactly the same thing though.
You're right. That is not the same thing. But Hyrule Warriors is like the closest one. But I mean, you missed. TW mentioned it earlier, Rhea, but TW wants to see a 2D adventure type game with Zelda and Link both playable, and it's like a 2D platformer, and you can like either unlock the other side of the story or swap between the two.
Yeah, I know that there was this critically panned game on the CDI back in the day. Y'all remember the Zelda CDI games, right?
That's exactly
we were
where
talking about those,
the idea came from, was wanting to see those games get sort of their due in the sense, because those games were, from what I've seen, just awful. But they have cool ideas like, hey, it's a 2D platformer in the Legend of Zelda world. The idea that Zelda's playable, I think the main issue that I saw from the gameplay is I'm like, they're too similar. Like, you need to have maybe Zelda does something maybe a bit more with like magic or ranged attacks or something.
Like how Peach is, like when you're able to play as Peach in a Mario game, like she has that hover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or like something like that, and I think that'd be cool. But also having like because they had painted backgrounds in those CDI games, but the problem was the platforms weren't very discernible. So maybe to have some sort of deeper outline or something around them to make them a bit more visible to the player, and then have like a hand-drawn sort of Cuphead, not necessarily in that animation style, but having something like that, or like the Monster Boy or the Wonder Boy Dragon Strap remake, kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Sprites, and then have maybe have the bosses do something like that as well.
Yeah, like playing a game from the perspective of Ganon or Ganondorf, that would be really cool. Like from the perspective of like the antagonists. Like, I'm trying to use the word antagonist a lot more than villains, because I feel like if there is room for some empathy in a villain's motivations, then they're a little less like villainous and more antagonistic. So yeah, I say that as a way to just say like, yeah, no, there might be some plausible, empathetic sort of side story that these characters could potentially have like their own little adventure, and where they're not, like malicious or anything like that, like we've been led to believe throughout their entire, incarnation in the mainline series. So yeah, I would love to see that.
Yeah, no, and I think I saw just your tweet now, Rhea, about the stream, to promote it. And I was thinking too, like the early PlayStation mascots too, who sadly have kind of like don't get nearly enough love. I mean, it's not until recent years that Crash and Spyro finally got the love that they've been desperately needing.
Purple Boy!
Yeah,
Crash,
yeah.
Spyro, Lara
and
Croft.
Okay.
I love how there's this newfound appreciation for Lara Croft's very pointy presentation in the PS1 days. Like, people even cosplay as her, like with the pointiness, if you know what I mean.
Those cosplays kill me. I'm like, y'all really went for authenticity here, didn't you?
Right.
Yeah,
like,
it's great.
The fact that, just to jump to PlayStation real quick, like, okay, and this isn't a contest because both are equally loved. Spyro a little bit more, but equally loved. But Spyro got he got done so much dirtier than Crash. Like, Crash was a general, like, slow decline into. Spyro was a hard, just like the stock market, just busted through the bottom ceiling. I was like, oh God, my boy. As soon as Insomniac gave him up, his wings broke. Oh,
yeah,
God.
yeah. No, like, I get it though, but like with Insomniac pivoting to like Ratchet and Clank, and with Naughty Dog pivoting to what was it, Uncharted?
Jack and Daxter.
first,
Yeah. Thank you. So Yeah.
Not even Jack and
I'm just like,
Daxter
how
getting
much?
love anymore.
Oh, right.
RJ,
Yeah.
don't remind me.
They would be considered mascots as well, right?
Yes,
I
they
would
are.
consider them. Yeah,
The big
absolutely.
three of PlayStation 2 were Ratchet and, funny enough, all teams. Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter, and Sly Cooper.
Yes. Yeah. So like, I think there's like this. Well, I'm personally seeing on my recommended feeds because I know it might be different for everyone. Like people are campaigning for new Sly Cooper game, and there was another Infamous. Yeah. So people want to see revivals of those IPs for sure.
I have heard some things about those two specifically.
What kind of things?
PlayStation is reportedly thinking of bringing them back for another game, not a remaster and not a reboot, a sequel. The thing with PlayStation though, and this is just interesting, kind of like Xbox, the IPs that they own can be worked on by any studio. So Naughty Dog doesn't have to make a Jack and Daxter. If Sucker Punch wanted to make one, they could. If Ben Studios wanted to make a Sly Cooper game, they could. So it's just a matter of what studio.
It's more flexible about what's like. If a studio is like, "Hey, we want to work on this," it's like, "Okay, here you
And
go."
it also helps they're also not owned by Sony. Like
Well,
they're
Naughty
owned
Dog's
by-
busy making The Last of Us 1 remake right now for PS5.
And
So
on top of it, they're not owned.
Everyone
Like,
asked
I
for
think-
that, by
what
the
was
way.
it? Well, as far as Crash and Spyro, or no, the other ones are owned by the individual companies. But if you go back to Crash and Spyro, neither of them are owned by Sony. They're owned by
The Universal.
Right?
Like,
And
we're always
interestingly
going
enough-
back to Universal. Why?
right.
What is this? This is
Which, by the
Inception
way,
levels.
that would be. I think I'd like to see either a dark ride or a coaster of Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, could you imagine like a video game like themed? Like I know they have Super Mario World or Super Mario Land in the Universal Japan, and it's going to come to California and Florida. But could you imagine like a theme park land dedicated to like PlayStation IPs or something like that? Like imagine like the Uncharted ride or something, or the Crash Bandicoot ride.
Oh well, who's been to Disney World and saw the Indiana Jones exhibit?
Oh well, they have the ride in California,
Yeah.
and they have the stunt show in Florida.
That's what I mean. Like something like that for Uncharted. Like
Yeah. And also the
Or
fact
Tomb
that
Raider.
Paramount had there's a particular group of theme parks that include one up here in Canada called Canada's Wonderland. They for many years in my childhood they had a working relationship with Paramount. So we had a Tomb Raider ride. And there was the Tomb Raider ride at the big Tomb Raider ride at what was it? Oh my gosh. Not
Wasn't
Kings
it more
Island.
based off like the movie though?
Yeah, but like I'm saying, at least it's sort of in that ballpark. At least you could probably do something with it. Like you could do some sort of pivot to the games.
Can we invent a game genre where it's like hack and slash, but augmented reality?
Yeah.
AR.
That is a civil suit waiting to happen.
No, but it would be so much fun.
Whack! Ow! Why'd you hit me? Oh, sorry. Pull up the
It
headset.
would be on a chain or something, though. It would be on a chain or something.
Oh
So-
yeah. Conker's Bad Fur Day. I remember that game.
Bloody cats hate those things.
Well, I guess
Always.
if you want to talk about look at rare mascots, right? Look at the
Banjo Kazooie.
the concept of the mascot platformer in the 90s and 2000s, right? You can count Crash
Donkey
and
Kong
Spyro and
64.
Jack and all them among them, you know.
I have a sad like sort of segue anecdote about Conker that y'all probably already saw it as well. Like on Twitter, there's the creator of Conker's Bad Fur Day like replied to someone who was like, "Oh, these bigger companies buying these smaller studios gives us more hope that legacy titles will get rebooted." And then the Conker's Bad Fur Conker creator was like, "Yeah, no, don't count don't count on it." Basically.
So this is the thing with Microsoft, right? Microsoft is really the most autonomous company when it comes to IP. If a company wants to work on something, so sure, yeah, go ahead. But they're not going to force them to make something. That's why there hasn't been a new Banjo or Conkers, because Rare doesn't want to work on them, and that's Rare's fault. In all honesty, they're just letting all this money just fly by them.
And,
They work on
because
Sea of
of
Thieves.
it, because of it, their appearances have become more and more.
Like I don't
Yeah.
think people understand like the impact of like a hype, just capital HYPE when Banjo was announced for Smash.
Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy.
I remember that trailer, especially with the fake
I
out
watched
of
it live.
Duck
I
Hunt
watched it
Dog and
live.
Duck.
The Duck Hunt Duck.
Oh yeah.
I thought that Rare was supposed to be working on a Perfect Dark game, but that's been like talked about for years, right?
That's a brand new company. It's called
Yeah.
like it's like a brand new developer that Microsoft
Yeah.
put together, but they're also getting help from Crystal Dynamics as well. So
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying though. Like Perfect Dark is owned by Rare.
yeah, that's a reboot. It's like a reimagining of that IP.
They need it. They honestly need it
Well, think
because
about it. There hasn't been a Perfect Dark game since Perfect Dark Zero, and that was what 2007.
Yeah, it was like for X. It was like Xbox 360 launch title.
early 360 days. It's been a minute, but like I'm trying to think of other like mascots of that. I mean, we're talking about the 90s now. Like Sonic was the first one of the 90s.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Blue Blur for a minute. Let's talk about the fact that he has another movie coming out, and I'm excited as hell for it. That's gonna be so good.
Just a few more weeks. Yeah.
Oh, let's go! Give me Sonic 3 with
Funny
Shadow.
enough, it wasn't until I was 17 or 18 that I played the original Sonic the Hedgehog for the first time. But what's funny, well, because I grew up playing like the 3D platformers, so like Adventure and like Shadow the Hedgehog and stuff like that, the spin-offs. But
Fantastic voice acting, by the way. Fantastic lip sync on Sonic Adventure.
Well, you know why the GameCube one is so bad, right? The DX one, because of the fact that the Japanese Dreamcast, they updated some stuff to give it. They updated some stuff, including the lip sync for the Western release on Western Dreamcasts. But the problem was when they made Sonic Adventure DX, they used the Japanese Dreamcast version as the base. So all of the upgrades were not included.
Of
at least the
course
majority
they
of
were.
them.
Of course they were.
Sonic Adventure 2 was better. I mean, not great, but then again, it was also the beginnings of the concept of lip sync, right? You really didn't have that because you didn't have, audio dialogue to sync it to. It was all text for a very long time. It's not till you get to like really Metal Gear Solid, that sort of era that you're getting into spoken dialogue, like 97, 98, 99.
I need to hear Knuckles. I need to hear Idris Elba do the meme. Oh no. I need to hear that at least once. It doesn't have to be like in that same style, but I just oh god.
Oh, we're gonna get a whole spin-off of him talking, and hopefully we see Team Chaotix, like the whole Team Chaotix, by the way, from the Sega.
That'd be really cool.
I would love that. But yeah, so it's like they're looking for a place to way to the Master Emerald. Do you know the way? Just like in the Knuckles voice.
Oh my god, no. Okay, I take it back. No memes. Do not reference memes. I have had enough of that damn meme to last me a lifetime.
Was that not the meme you were talking about?
That just shouldn't be continued. That's one of them.
Was that not the meme you were talking about, JP?
That meme was birthed. It died. Someone resurrected it for God knows what reason, and then it died again. Like, do not bring it back a third time.
Zombie, like a zombie Knuckles saying it, and then Knuckles like a zombie and then Knuckles has to like break it apart.
Good God.
Yeah.
Well, I do have to dip out though because I do have to go get some dinner preparations done. But I just want to say thank you guys for having me. It's been a really fun conversation for the time I was here. So thank you, Meta, for inviting me. I appreciate it, man.
No problem.
Good having
man.
you.
You're always welcome here.
Yeah, of course. All right, bye, everybody.
All right, man. Peace. Oh my God. My blood is still not calmed down from Chris Pratt Mario. I'm not. I'm gonna rail. Listen, I'm not gonna. I will never, as a critic.
Is this confirming that Mario's a Christian or Catholic, or I guess Christian?
Well, there are churches.
He's Catholic because he's Italian.
There are churches that are in because I always thought that the Peach's Castle was kind of cathedral looking.
He worships.
I'm sorry, I made a terrible joke. I apologize.
No. I almost made that joke 1,000 times worse, and I almost got canceled for it. I'm not going to finish my sentence.
Oh, let's just say, was it a joke that would have been, found?
I would have been kicked off of the pop culture corner.
You mean it would have been career? You would no longer be part of this. It would be career suicide.
I would be promoted. I would be promoted to viewer.
No, JP, like if you catch my drift,
yes.
We're talking about a joke. It would be career suicide, and you no longer be part of the squad out here at the Pop Culture Corner.
Yes, I would no longer. Yes, I see what you're doing there.
I gotcha.
Oh, I don't have my
Alright.
band ham here. I need to get Ty to get me some clips. I need my band ham
ba-
again.
But you did it to yourself. You always made a
I know I
joke.
do it to myself. I'm a literal
And an
straight man.
interesting thing about the mascot is it's basically it's not non-existent, but it doesn't have the place that it had for consoles the way that it used to, especially the way that they were aligned with certain consoles. You know, obviously Nintendo having first-party stuff like Mario and Kirby and Samus and Link and so forth, but you know, it doesn't sort of feel the same way. I mean, you could argue, you know, Sony technically because of the working relationship with Naughty Dog and stuff like that. People like Joel and Ellie, for example, or what was Insomniac's one of their more recent franchises?
Sunset Overdrive.
You could argue like the folks from Sunset Overdrive or from I'm forgetting.
I was
his
gonna
name
say
from-
Spider-Man, but that's debatable. That's really more of a Marvel thing. But in Sunset Overdrive is an original IP by Insomniac.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's.
Would you say though? Oh, sorry, TW.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, would you say that it's kind of the spiritual successor to what is that game from the Dreamcast?
Oh, Jet Set Radio.
Yeah.
I haven't played it,
in
but
certain elements, certain aspects, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, I remember playing it a while back, and I knew that, like, when I heard and saw Sunset Overdrive, I was like, this is a spiritual successor to that game, it looks like. I never played it, but yeah, that's the vibe I got.
I have to ask Ray, just because it's a beautiful way for me to recommend this game. Is Jet Set Radio one of your favorite games?
No, I only have very distant childhood memories of it.
Okay.
I didn't go back and revisit it as an adult.
Well, I was gonna say there's a game that's also very reminiscent of Jet Set Radio and like what was that game, TW, like Space Channel 5?
Oh, that's like another Dreamcast game, right?
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that one. It's like I said, childhood distant memory though.
Well, I was like, there's a game that I adore. It's an indie game called No Straight Roads, and it's a co-op game. It's a co-op indie game. It's the first of hopefully many games by this indie company in like Southeast Asia, or I think the Philippines, I believe. But the art style, the music, just the colors, it's so Jet Set Radio, Space Channel 5. Like, that was one of the one of the critics said that they praised it for that reason. Like, it's a spiritual successor to those games.
I know that the 2000s, like everyone was into like BMX and skateboarding and like skating as well. Like rail grinding was in like every game. Like,
Tony Hawk.
In Sonic, Ratchet and Clank, like rail grinding everywhere.
In Sonic Adventure 2, what was it? Sonic had, what are they called? Soap shoes? Is that the name of the brand? Like, there were shoes designed for grinding on rails.
That sounds better than Sud shoes.
Yeah. Let me see. Like, what other PS1 iconic figures? Oh, Gex is actually like murmured to get rebooted as well, right?
Gex is TW. Explain to me why Gex is coming back before Croc.
I don't know.
Explain this to me. Croc is a sweet, adorable alligator.
Or Sir Dan, Sir Dan.
Oh, yes, medieval.
Getting.
The medieval remake.
That was a great remake.
I haven't played through it, but it's sitting in my collection.
Phil says the grind boots and Ratchet and Clank Chef's Kiss. Yeah, I agree. Chef's Kiss indeed.
And here's another obscure one from the PS2 era. Who remembers Scalar?
Yes. Yeah. So like, I don't know. You may know this other YouTuber that reviews a bunch of mascot based platformer games. Sorry, what?
Nitro Rad?
Yes, the redhead guy. Yes.
Nitro Rad, yeah.
Love him. Yeah.
Like I got Scalar as a present from my mom, and I was like, what is this? And she was like, I don't know. It was like $5 in a bit. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll play it. And she was like, I know you love reptiles. And I'm like, okay, that is the basis for why she bought me this game. Let me see if it continues my interest. It did.
I like Bobcats.
So how was the platforming? Was it clunky? Was it like tank controls?
It had rail grinding. Is the only reason. One of the reasons I bring this up. It had rail grinding. I'm gonna try to not rage at a certain point because there's a part that I got stuck at as a kid, and it burns my blood because it's bullshit. But it's a mixture of platforming with certain abilities, and I'm trying to think. So the map was made up of like different areas. So there was like different areas you would like hop to get to the final boss. So technically it was like worlds, like original, like back in the early 90s on Super Nintendo, like World 1, World 2, World 3. But there were 3D worlds, and you could rail grinding, the regular platforming. You had like your tongue as an attack weapon, which was so fun to do with the camera. I may or may not have spent like multiple hours just doing that at the camera and laughing because I was a stupid kid. I'm like, he stuck his tongue out.
Do y'all remember Ty the Tasmanian Tiger?
I have the first one on PlayStation. The second one's supposed to be coming to PS4 soon.
Yay!
I
Yeah.
need to get those. I was vaguely familiar with the mascot, but I never played the games. But speaking of cat-like
hold on.
mascots,
Before we get to Blinks.
no,
Blinks
I'm not
needs a
talking
remake.
about Blinks.
Come on, Microsoft, you're rebooting everything
We're
else.
we're not bringing back these other games. We're not bringing back mascots that we love. Why?
Wait,
God's name.
no.
They bring back Bubsy the Bobcat. Why does that exist?
It's a meme. We memed it too hard, and they thought we wanted it back. I blame Jontron.
Okay, but like here's the thing though, and y'all might know more about this than I do. There are so many assets readily available for game developers these days, like to just plug and play or just plug in code, I should say. And I feel like that's all just assets that were like in what is it like the Unreal Engine, like for folks to just purchase and use.
And even Unity is even more versatile, so you can do stuff with that. And then, but the other thing was thinking about Bubsy. It was very interesting talking about.
Can we not talk about that damn Bobcat?
Not a good 2D platform. And the fact that it was basically within a year of, we're going to talk about this in a second, is the fact that you had a 3D platformer where because the 3D platformers really didn't exist, their basis for the camera in Bubsy 3D was Jumping Flash. That was the
Jumping
basis.
Jack Flash?
No, Jumping Flash, like the robot.
PS1 game.
Yeah, it's just called Jumping Flash. Jumping Jack Flash.
God.
Like that's a Stones tune.
The Stones song. I always call it Jumping Jack Flash.
But yeah, so that was the basis for the camera angle. That's why Bubsy 3D looks as weird as it does.
Bubsy 3D was made by the same company that made Days Gone.
And the fact that in the same year as Bubsy 3D, or within a year of it,
Crash Bandicoot, Super Mario 64.
Super Mario 64.
Super Mario 64
gave us the 3D platformer,
To answer Lorenzo's question, yes, I stream every Saturday and Sunday on this channel. And as far as retro game, it's called Scalar. It's called Scalars. For PS2, it really is an awesome game. Goddamn Rattle Crab. I'm not. There's a boss called the Rattler Crab, and I'm not gonna focus on it because that's what makes me rage. It's a first person rail shooter in a platformer. Like, why? Why even? Oh, Ray joined. Thank you, Ray.
Oh, I was a member before. I just updated my membership.
Oh, there you go.
Woo,
hey.
woo.
Oh,
But-
I was gonna say, like, I would love to have someone clip and make a drop of you saying Bubsy or some sort of like Dinkelberg-esque reaction.
Ray,
but,
you
like,
give
with
me
Bubsy.
enough time. When I get to that series, you're gonna see me rage, and I get mad. Let me tell you something about when I rage. I get mad. I don't I'll be joking with you at first, like, okay, yeah, this lulls, and I'm gonna get quiet, and I'm gonna get
You need some more meta memes for sure. Just like, oh, this is meta saying like, oh, this is where I'd put my Scalar remake if I had one.
This is where no. This is where I would put my Croc revival if I had one. Kill the crocodile.
JP.
Give him a remake.
And the fact, oh god, I still can't get over the fact that in the pilot for the show of Bubsy that they tried to make, they got Rob Paulson to voice Bubsy the Bobcat.
Yeah, but you're intending on making my blood boil past Chris Pratt, aren't you?
Well, hang on.
Speaking of which, did y'all see the pilot intro for the Crash Bandicoot animated series? It's on YouTube.
That one that never aired.
Yes.
Yeah. That was Jim Cummings does the song.
Really?
I like it. Yeah. It reminded me of Bubsy and then like the first Sonic the Hedgehog series.
That's no good. And if my
Funny enough, I
man
grew up watching Sonic Underground was my Sonic show.
TW,
Yes,
I swear to
yes.
God, I was about to say,
I love
if,
Sonic Underground.
if my boy Elijah were here, I would sing the song, but I'm
I
not
still
gonna
think the
do it.
crazy part that I always forget whenever I go back and I'm like, oh yeah, was the fact that Jaleel White voices all three triplets.
Yes, yeah, that's a good point.
And
Yeah,
one
I
of them
forgot.
is Sonia, and I'm like, what is going on? Like going
What
back,
is life?
it's such a strange idea. The idea of like not just kind of it's like it took the comic book idea of kind of them being a group of resistance fighters and just taking it to like the absolute extreme in a way of like completely, Robotnik owns everything, and the point that Sonic and his siblings are trying to find their mother who may or may not be dead. And
She's dead.
she's
This is
dead.
Lorenzo. That is the game in question. Yes, Scalar, the shape-shifting chameleon. Wait, is he a chameleon?
I
That
don't
was just
know.
like a lizard.
Speaking of chameleon,
He is a chameleon.
You might be able to see him in Kraven the Hunter in theater soon.
Oh my God. Different chameleon. That one is the R word. But like I'm just thinking like 2017 was really the revival of mascots, but like before we got to that,
Yes.
and PlayStation had so many, like for PS1, PS2, PS3. One that, and Donovan mentioned this earlier, one that stands out is Kratos, because most mascots are aimed at kids. Kratos was aimed, and so was Master Chief. We're both aimed at that teen to young adult demographic.
Would you
And
call
Kratos,
Sweet Tooth the mascot?
yes, Sweet Tooth is also a mascot for Twisted Metal.
Which
when PlayStation comes along, it's not so much more about a mascot for the brand, but a mascot for a series or a franchise.
yes, and Lewis, thank you for the £2 super chat.
Oh, yeah. Lewis with a £2 super chat. Chris Pratt is also going to be Garfield. Lewis, why did you have to remind me of that?
That one I can actually buy more than I can buy Mario.
No.
Chris Pratt as Garfield, I could kind of buy it. Just basically
No.
let him be early Andy from Parks and Rec. Like that's
No.
I need a sticker of Garfield in a Mario outfit now. Just saying. I don't know. I just need that. Like those are the things I look up at like 3 a.m. on Redbubble and Etsy.
I'm that way because like I'll find people with like shirts of mashups and things like that. Like there's like a Bebop Power Rangers mashup shirt that I'm like,
oh, that's
let's
so
go
sick.
find this, and
That's awesome.
I'll send it to you. I'll find it. I'll put it in the big group DM that we're all part of.
You do that, and she's gonna have it on the next time we're on stream.
Yes,
like
I love
you say
these
that
like
it's a bad
bootleg
thing.
fan art shirts.
Oh, there was like I've seen a mashup of that. I've seen who wore it. I saw like Paul Sun Young Lee was wearing it. I saw another YouTuber I like wearing it. It's a mashup of Star Wars and one of my favorite albums of all time, which is Screaming for Vengeance by Judas Priest. Which, if you guys have ever seen the cover for that, it's basically, as opposed to the Hellion, the creature from one of the songs, it's Luke Skywalker's face, like in his X-wing outfit. Like if you type in Jedi Priest shirt, you'll see it. It's pretty cool.
No. Where did that go? Where did that go? I'm not letting that slide. We got a comedian in the chat.
we gotta take a look at this Joker. Am I right?
Which,
I don't know what's happening.
Which, by the way, if you guys
Heathcliff is better. Thank you.
I don't know about that.
Everyone's entitled to their wrong opinion.
Wrong opinion. So this isn't wrong.
That's my catchphrase whenever I'm on with JP. But Case of the Mondays, if you guys have never seen Office Space, go watch Office Space. It is.
Oh my God.
Hilarious.
Yes. But I just thought about this, and tell me if this would work, TW, just to get back to Nintendo real quick.
Absolutely.
Because we've had a first-person Metroid, and we've had our 2D Metroid. But because Kirby's getting that treatment with the open 3D, and Pokemon's finally going open 3D, Sonic's going open 3D, everyone's finally catching up to 3D Mario. Like, what even?
Can you do the the horror element in a 3D
Castlevania's done it
in a 3D platformer-esque space and still keep that fear though? Like I will say one of the scariest gaming moments that still to this day haunts me was when I was 10 years old. I rented Metroid Fusion. hiding from the SAX is still one of the scariest things I've ever done in a video game. It's like, no, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. And like just
For me,
trying shooting at it, it's just like, oh god. If for those that've played Metroid Fusion and know it's spooky.
I'm saying this based off of one example from one experience that I've had, but it was absolutely down near terrifying. Spider-Man PS1 Monster Ock. I have never had so much anxiety as a child, and the camera angles did not help me. They harmed me.
Now I like Phil's comment there. That is interesting.
But the whole point of Samus is she has her blaster. Like, what happens to the blaster?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If you just have a giant weapon, or like maybe a creature, some sort of like either a Metroid or something like it, or some sort of Chozo beast that is so terrifying, you don't necessarily, I wouldn't even necessarily maybe go entirely like Alien Isolation, but do something more like Mr. X from Resident Evil 2, where it's just this thing is just scary.
Or Nemesis.
Yeah, like do it exactly. Do it in a 3D space as opposed to like the SAX being in a 2D space. But I don't know if you could do like the full on almost bird's eye view camera 3D style platformer.
Well, isn't the 3DS one like 2.5D?
Which one? Oh,
the Samus Returns.
Sort of. I think it's. I have it in my collection. I have to go play it.
That's what I'm just saying though. Like I would want that, and also we need another 3D Donkey Kong game. Donkey Kong 64 is amazing. We need another 3D Donkey Kong game.
I could see that. You could do, and especially now with some of the advents that we've got from things like Tropical Freeze and whatnot with some of the other creatures.
Exactly.
Maybe have different continents that you can visit. And use maybe like a dock city as sort of a hub world. And then you can go back into the jungle.
Incredible.
You can go to see like some sort of lava golem people that's inspired by some of the volcanic islands around Hawaii and things like that. You can have the sort of the seal Viking things that they have in Tropical Freeze and the penguins. You can have just kind of sort of code them in different ways and have it sort of be kind of an international or a global kind of 3D.
That would be awesome. Kind of like Mario Odyssey in a way, but for Donkey Kong.
Yeah. That
would be work. And I even would love if we went to New Donk City, and that could be like a whole like reference thing. Like there could be a level where Donkey Kong has to rescue Paulina from someone other than himself.
Or yeah, this is now goes up to Mario. Now we're even.
Well, it was actually his grandfather, by the lore of Nintendo, that says that it was
Jumpman is his. It was Cranky Kong.
Cranky Kong was the original Donkey Kong.
Cranky Kong is the Donkey Kong from Donkey Kong.
And then Donkey Kong Jr. is like Donkey Kong's father. How is Donkey Kong's bloodline more confusing than JoJo's? That's my question. It's more confusing than JoJo's, and that's pretty confusing if you're not paying attention.
I saw some pretty cool online petitioning for the evolutions of the new duck Pokemon to evolve into what appears to be an homage to JoJo.
Josuke Hiskeduck, give me my Josuke duck.
Oh,
I want my Pompadour duck, and I want him now. You insult my duck's hair, you're gonna get the bonk. You're gonna mess with the honk, you get the bonk. I would love that though, right? And I am petitioning as hard as I can to see that. I want my Josuke duck. Please make it a JoJo reference. I mean, TW, we talked about this last week, but indies also have a ton of mascots. We mentioned a lot of them during that because like Shovel Knight. One that we didn't mention, and I kind of am kicking myself in the pants because of it, is Ukulele. Talk about Banjo-Kazooie earlier. Ukulele is the spiritual successor to Banjo.
And Hat Girl as well,
Hat Girl as well.
We're talking mascot platforms, like literally she came back for that.
What about the Freedom Planet? Have y'all played that? I remember I was asking you about Freedom Planet to find a physical copy, but I forgot.
I wanted to play it.
I still have it.
I gotta go.
I have to get back to you. I'm so sorry. I know I suck.
No, you don't have to do anything for me. I'm a good person. Just give me the information. I'm trying to be
You're too
good.
you're too kind. That's why I'm just like, I hate it because like, now I have to like
Rhea,
dig,
you owe
dig
me
through
nothing.
my storage closet.
Rhea, you owe me nothing. Also,
Anyway, I'll
it's
get back to
all
you on
like
that.
Donkey Kong.
It's on like Donkey Kong. Biatch.
Biatch! Like, can also talk about the fact that, yeah, like, how many mascots have actually had their own cereal?
Okay, can we talk about how the Mario cereal from like maybe a couple years ago, like, is now like super expensive, and you're
Mario
basically paying for
cereal.
expired cereal at this point. Like,
You're paying for merch. I mean, to be fair though, Ray, like people are still selling the old '80s box with Zelda and Mario on it because it looks like, yeah,
that's
think about that.
disgusting. The content.
Well, no,
though.
it's more of like a collectible now anyway because you're not gonna open that
It's
box.
like the ecto. It's like the
get
ecto.
it.
It's like the high C ecto cooler before they brought the revival back.
And then they canceled it, and then they brought it back again, and
they brought it back for the 2016 movie, right?
and then they brought it back again and made it limited. I couldn't find it. I'm getting this stream is making my blood just boil all over the place because life has inconsistencies, folks, and when they get there, you just
because Jim was not here. I guess we're gonna make your blood boil a little even more, and then just,
Now you listen here. You don't get to do that voice. Only us Southern folks get to do that. Oh no, a bee!
The rebels.
no.
The rebels have his dog, not Zeus. Oh no! One of my favorite.
My streams get a little weird right now.
Oh yeah, we get a little crazy.
I mean, honestly, like when TW and Black Ops normally join, that like with along with me, we're basically the usual suspects. That's what I call our little group is the usual suspects. But I'm trying to. There's one.
Hollow Knight.
There's one I thought of the other day, and now I said it in last week's video. There's Hyperlight Drifter. That's a mascot technically. There's oh my god, it's in the same vein. There's Blasphemous. I'm gonna have to go down the list now. There's Blasphemous. There's oh my god. I'm gonna kick myself in the pants. I'm gonna remember it out of nowhere. But yeah, there's so many indie mascots too.
Isaac? If you want to count Isaac from the Binding of Isaac, if you want to count.
Yes, that was it. That was another big important one that we missed. Lewis was another 5. Was it pounds?
5 pounds, yeah.
5 pounds super chat. Pokemon had cereal. It was nice. Yeah. Okay. So Pokemon. Yeah. Pokemon's also like had different cereals. Like there was the original ones that came out in the 90s, along with Pokemon Pop-Tarts, Pokemon, literally everything. And then I think, didn't they bring it like a new one back along with the Mario cereal? I could have sworn I saw a Pikachu box in the cereal aisle at one point.
Maybe like when Detective Pikachu came out, maybe there was something like it.
Maybe. I would love more Pikachu Pop-Tarts. Those things were lit.
Shockingly good.
Theo, Theo. That's the first time I've called you Theo. TW. I swear to God.
I think we need to have a talk.
Oh.
This is an intervention.
The energy is absolutely electric, yeah.
Oh my God. Everyone, quit setting him up. We need to quit setting him up. He's gonna keep doing it. Just quit setting him up. Ground him. Really? That one didn't get. You know what? I quit. I quit comedy.
They're just flying over your head. It's kind of like you've been hitting the head with a rock, and but it's all water under the bridge, right? So.
Oh yeah, Zod. Is going on, Zod? Yeah, Zod's correct. There were Pac-Man Pop-Tarts. Wait, there were Pac-Man. Wait a minute.
Pac-Man Pop-Tarts. Is there like a bite taken out of them? Is there like a bite?
Pac-Tarts?
Is there like a bite taken out of them before you open the package?
Pac-Tarts. Oh my God, that actually does kind of have a ring to it. I'm gonna try a Pac-Tart.
I'm having a pack attack,
I hate this.
But like, no, seriously, I could see that actually being. I'm not trying to be funny. I could see that actually being like the marketing of it.
Oh, okay, yeah, here they go. Yeah, the Pokemon Wild Cherry. That actually sounds delicious. Please bring that flavor back.
Wild Cherry. I guess that makes sense.
Wild Cherry sounds absolutely delicious. Oh no! Oh no! They're selling them on eBay. Why? Oh wait, it's just. Oh thank God! It's just a fridge magnet. Oh thank God! Oh, my heart skipped a beat. They were limited. Of everything like that is limited.
I had Crystal Pepsi once when they did the revival for Crystal Pepsi, and
I did too, and I was actually upset that it just tasted like Pepsi.
well, yeah, I thought it was going to be like a Sprite or like a 7-Up or something. You know?
Have y'all encountered the new flavor Starlight? I think that's what it's called.
They have it at my local. They have it at my local Walmart. It's a Coca-Cola flavor. I haven't tried it. I heard it's like berry hinted or something.
Yes, I'm on the hunt for it. So whenever I see it,
oh, they've got all kinds of
TW. Send her some in the mail.
I'll just go on eBay and pay like
international
3-4 times more than what it is in Walmart.
A nightmare, I would imagine.
We live in the
that sucks. Yeah, the international shipping.
We live in a world
the US
where
is a little weird, and I mean, like I'm not too far from the border, but even just getting it over is just a little strange because it's got to go. It would probably go like snail mail kind of thing. What is Nitro Pepsi's?
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Oh, I think it's like how there's like Nitro cold brew or something. I guess it's prepared a similar way to that.
Okay.
I guess.
PW's just like, what are they doing down at Pepsi Cola?
Heck, don't forget this. I think we're all of the age. Obviously Zod and Ty as well included. You guys remember Pepsi Blue? Pepperidge Farms remembers. Remember Pepsi Blue?
Remember Pepsi Blue? Have you
never had Pepsi Blue, JP?
I have never heard or seen or tasted Pepsi Blue.
You remember Pepsi Blue?
No, I don't.
It's like it's like a berry. It's like
is that a Canadian thing?
No, if it was, but it's like a berry flavored Pepsi.
Has there ever been like a maple flavored Pepsi or Coke?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, it's funny as much as that's funny. We do have them. Because
I do remember.
I'm like, it sounds too realistic to not already exist.
No. I remember the label. I remembered the label. Yes, TW. Yes, we had that down here. It was only sold for 2 years. It was literally just fructose corn syrup and sugar.
Yeah, it's not great.
Isn't that what soda is already?
Let me tell you, no. There's the fizz. There was no fizz with this. It was literally just blue. Like it was basically like blue food dye.
Using Blue One, which is a highly controversial.
Like they
had a coloring agent, which apparently in 02 to 04 was banned in several countries at the time.
Please don't tell me that. Is it still in China? Is Pepsi Blue still sold in China?
Well, Indonesia had it for a while. I don't know.
Okay, China. This is hilarious. I'm seeing like a more modern like Pepsi logo on this, but it's a box of limited time Pepsi Blue. When they open
Pepsi
it,
Blue is endorsed by Adam Vinatieri. Oh my gosh! For those
Sod, no. What is this? No.
What I am grateful for is that I'm a fan of hard seltzers. So there are these Mountain Dew ones, and then they have the Baja Blast Mountain Dew as a hard seltzer now as well. So.
Yeah, I did see that getting introduced. That was interesting. Because I'm not usually like a hard seltzer person. Like I drink more traditionally spirits and things like that. But I've always wanted to give it a shot just to say I did. But there's all kinds of crazy mascot-oriented things. I'm trying to think. Well, obviously,
I'm honestly just going to do a stream because of this. I'm honestly going to do I'm going to do a stream where it could be all of us. Everyone's welcome back to join this. Just talking about 90s nostalgia junk food because there was so much weird.
Dunkaroos, anyone?
3D Doritos.
Dunkaroos back into my market. I grew up with Dunkaroos.
3D Doritos, y'all. I'm just saying, or the Shrek
oh my God,
green
those
ketchup.
Were my favorite.
Yeah,
the Shrek green ketchup haunts my dreams to this day.
I remember. I'm not sure if you guys had it in the States, but we had different colored ketchup, not just Shrek green, but there was like a purple.
Yeah, no, that was down here.
Green.
Heinz did a promotional thing, and I looked at that and went, "This is not natural. God will punish them for this eventually."
Further and further, like every day we drift further and further from God's grace or something.
As a little boy, I looked at my mom.
Maple thing. To go back to the maple thing real quick, we actually have a bunch of different region. Like we have what they call, like they'll bring out regional, quote unquote, regional variants.
It was
every
so
once in a
weird.
while,
Mhm.
which was so like we had like there's a maple like a Quebec maple. There's one that's sort of like it's like a blueberry
Donovan,
maple
catch you
kind
later,
of
man.
thing. Have a good night, Donovan. And there was like there's a raspberry one using sort of coastal
Oh, God.
raspberries and things like that. I don't want. I mean, I don't want to know. I mean,
It's
Did
kind
they?
of like how like McDonald's overseas, they have items that we wish we had. Like
They in
spaghetti.
Japan, they have a teriyaki burger. I
Yeah.
want that.
It is not fair. It's literally not fair.
yes,
Like
I
they have
agree.
the teriyaki sauce and they have the burgers. So what's
Well,
the
'cause it-
problem?
Because they prepare it like I guess the patty is kind of prepared like koroke style. So
Oh,
So
gotcha.
I think that's why. I think that's why. If I'm remembering correctly, it's been a while since I've looked up that recipe. As far as I know, that's really the thing that's holding it back. But also like cabbage, like we really don't have cabbage on
I
any
love
of the sandwiches
cabbage.
over here.
Cabbage is
Well, I love
so
it.
good.
I love
Can I
it too,
just
but like, we don't
say-
really have it on the McDonald's sandwiches over here, right? So
Yeah.
When I looked up the menu of Japanese McDonald's, it literally looked like the menu, like it was like framed the same way as a menu would in a Yakuza game. I was like, okay,
Coincidence?
okay. I understand that in these Japanese games that are based in Japan, there's going to be a lot of things that are actually in Japan. But menu style of like how everything looks and is framed, I'm like, I wasn't expecting that level of accuracy. That's
now I'm gonna
taking it
go
one step close.
now in honor of Lewis here, because we don't really have outside of like British specialty shops here, we don't really have Lucozade over here. I want to go buy some. I've just never had it. It's like a Gatorade style drink. I think it's fizzed, like it's effervescent, like sodas are over here as well. But I think it has sort of similar qualities to Gatorade. But I did not know they did a Coca-Cola flavored. Yes, we have talked about Crystal Pepsi. No, we have not talked about Cindy Crawford. She was in one of those commercials. That and Van Halen's music.
I'm trying to find a way to segue back, and it's not coming to me. So no, I know. Watch this. We talked about Crystal Pepsi, which is a soda, like Mountain Dew, which is always tied to Halo.
Yeah. Praise be to the Dorito Pope.
God, he ain't even here. We're not even mentioning him.
Here's the coupon code Corporate Hush Money for 20% off.
He addressed that with grace, unlike
I will
Greg Miller, who addressed Bobby Kotick. Well, no, let me finish. Like he addressed that with grace, unlike Greg Miller, when he addressed the Bobby Kotick situation. Please tell me you've seen that clip.
We've definitely gone down some crazy sewer pipe that only Mario can get us out of. But definitely, it has been a great conversation surrounding gaming mascots. That's for sure.
And I mean, like nowadays, like there is a resurgence, but through the 2000s, they slowly faded away into obscurity. You know, you had the big ones, and you had some new ones. Like, you know, again, when after PlayStation, it was more about franchises than it was brand.
And on top of that, I think one of the other things is the fact that mascots, especially from Mario right through to even, you know, we're talking about Hat Girl and Ukulele and Shovel Knight and whatnot, are so heavily tied to platformers usually.
Yeah.
You know, you don't usually get out of platformers unless you're doing like some sort of modern interpretation, like how they've done Lara Croft how they've done Lara Croft and Tomb Raider in sort of the Crystal Dynamics games. But usually they've been connected so heavily to platformers, and as that's kind of faded not into obscurity but relative to things like shooters and battle royales now and MOBAs, it's kind of mascots is singular or, you know, group mascots are what we see them as, right?
I mean, even like you just mentioned, like MOBAs and all that, like World of Warcraft has its mascots, Overwatch has its mascots, but platformers are, and I'm going to make platformers a topic for one of these videos, I swear to you, just platformers. But like platformers are like, I think it started in 2016, 2017 was the resurgence of platformers. And ever since then, we've seen, like you mentioned, Bubsy, Sonic, Mario, KO the Kangaroo, for God's sake, is coming back. Who?
Yeah.
Klonoa.
Klonoa.
Klonoa getting ported to Switch, which got me really happy because I never got a chance to play those.
Not coming physically, though. At least over here. I haven't checked
Gotta take
the-
what we can get, right?
I haven't. Well, I know you mentioned, Rhea, I always forget the name of that website. The one that is for like porting like physical stuff from like Asia to here.
Oh, Play Asia.
Play Asia. I haven't seen if Play Asia has a physical version of Klonoa yet, but I hope they do.
I'll keep an eye out for sure.
But yeah, because that's something I think you, me, and Retro would all want to have in our collections.
Yeah.
And TW.
Mhm.
But yeah, folks, like Halo. Just to quickly jump to Xbox because Xbox has such a short history. Only 20 years worth. Halo as a mascot, like revolutionized first-person shooters. Zod, if Limited Run does it, I'll be happy. A lot of people won't be happy because they think that that Limited Run likes to gouge, but it's whatever. What do I think? What did Greg Miller do? He didn't handle a controversy with grace, Lewis. That's all I'll say about that. But like first-person shooters have also like had a history with mascots too, like Doom Guy, Wolfenstein, Master
with
Chief,
Blazkowicz and stuff like that. But
Billy Blazkowicz. Thank you. I couldn't remember.
BJ Blazkowicz. Well, I think Billy is his first name, or William.
Billy Hatcher, would he be a game mascot?
Billy Hatcher is a mascot.
I forgot about Billy Hatcher.
Rhea, thank you.
I'm like, some things are better left unremembered.
Or if it was just the fact that, like,
I mentioned Chibi Robo earlier.
I brought up Bubsy the Bobcat, so I guess if we're talking about things that are better left unremembered.
Oh, I got one. Since we're going down the irrelevant mascot route, F-Zero.
Oh, come on. Let's talk about unrelevant or irrelevant.
No. Okay, F-Zero. It's irrelevant.
The last main series game
Oh
was what?
man,
ZX?
not to like diehard Nintendo fans.
I'm just saying, like, and listen, I don't want it to be irrelevant, but like F-Zero, Nintendo is so like chicken shit about it. And I'm gonna admit it, like they are, like they're like, we won't make a new F-Zero until we come up with a new idea. It's a racing game. What do you mean? I don't.
It's like for those that like,
I don't.
What is it? Wipeout. For those that like Wipeout, that does not exist without F-Zero.
I'm like thinking though, like since F-Zero is a first-party Nintendo title, maybe they don't want to cannibalize anything from Mario Kart, especially with the DLC package coming out pretty soon.
Well, Mario Kart has always been more successful than F-Zero. That's just a fact.
Right. I'm just wondering if like cannibalizing sales has been a factor for them or not.
I can understand that definitely. You know, I mean, that
I would think they would include him as a kart racer though. Like that I love with Mario Kart 8. They're like, we're gonna add new characters. Link, Inklings, Captain Falcon. No.
I think the main reason is because F-Zero goes so fast. You know, compare that to like even like 250cc Mario Kart. It's not even close as far as the speeds your car is moving at in F-Zero. So I think it's maybe that's your reason. Plus, the cars are all self-enclosed. You'd have to like completely redesign this to make it into a golf cart or like into like a kart racer, you know.
And like another thing I was thinking of too is that Nintendo for a while was going super hard on their mobile games, and they were just finding new ways for you to pay money for like the Mario Kart mobile game by putting Diddy Kong racing elements into it and characters. I'm just like, you could have easily put these in the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe game, but you'd only be monetizing them once from one user, whereas you can continue to monetize them over time if you just, piece out every DLC on a mobile game.
Nintendo pulled a Nintendo.
Yeah,
I'm shocked.
Nintendo is becoming more and more Nintendo-y as the years go on.
Well, again, I got criticized. They are the Disney of video games.
They are like I'm a shill for Disney, for Disney and Nintendo, but I can still criticize them and agree with the points like you're calling out.
Right, like I'm a Sony pony,
and I'm that way with like. Outside of video gaming, I'm that way with Star Wars, and that now falls under the Disney umbrella. So I have to kind of do this stuff. But I think the problem is when you're getting into the fact that it's definitely not monopolistic in the same way that like Disney has been kind of argued as. And Nintendo has especially with market share, Nintendo has a strong market share, but like it's not exclusive. Like Sony has a strong market share, particularly in Japan. It's a much more split.
If this makes sense, they're monopolistic with their own stuff. Like
which I don't blame them for.
That sounds like redundant, like no duh, but it's like PlayStation has finally opened the gates for PC. You will never see Mario on a PC. I will
Again.
Legally.
Legally. Yes. Legally.
Although, have you heard,
shout out
funny
to the
enough
Steam Deck.
about Mario on PC, you know the story about, what is it? Is it id? Who was it? It was John Carmack, I think it was, made a fully functioning Super Mario Brothers 3 PC port and tried to bring it to Nintendo to see if they would want to like bring it to PC, and they basically told him no.
Wait, what game was this?
Super Mario Brothers 3. He made a from the ground up Super Mario Brothers 3 PC game this is like Commander Keen era. This is not like news. This is old, like at the beginnings of their.
This is like the beginning of the PC gaming.
Yeah,
that makes sense. That makes so much sense. All right, y'all. Well, this has been an absolute fun conversation. A lot more fun. It's gonna sound weird. A lot more fun than I thought it would be, only because like we went down that nostalgia hole with all the junk food. Like, got brought back a lot of. My stomach actually churned at one point because of the different colored ketchups. That's not a memory I wanted to remember. But anyhow, we did. I want to thank all of my panelists for joining me, Miss Rhea, TW, and RJ. And I'm going to give them the time now to tell them where they can find y'all at. Starting with Miss Rhea, where can the fine folks here find you at?
You can find me at youtube.com/Rhea with 4 A's. I try to stream every other day, whether it be about movies or video games, or do a live stream of the game myself. So yeah, come for some cringy conversations, bad jokes, and just terrible takes about movies and games in general.
She's lying. She's absolutely lying. Every time I've been over there, the 2 times I've been over there, it's been a blast. And I've loved the conversation.
Sounds like a Tuesday for you and I, though, JP.
It really, no, it's a Sunday and Saturday. That's a regular Saturday for us.
But yeah, thank you so much for having me on here.
Absolutely. And I hope to have you on again sometime soon. All right. See, Lorenzo agrees.
Yay.
All right, Miss TW, where can the fine folks find you at?
If y'all want to continue the conversation somewhere, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit at TWMcKay34 as listed in my little box down there.
Yeah, the T's knocked out, but the main thing is that @ symbol. So, all right, folks, and of course, if you want to find me personally, I have my own YouTube channel. You can find me on at Enter the Metaverse. The rest of these episodes for this show, because this is episode 7, the rest of them are on my channel. 1 through 5 are on my channel. Episode 6 is on this, and I'll be posting these videos on this channel moving forward. And if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the Pop Culture Corner. I am always grateful and thankful that Ty has given me the opportunity to do this. And also, don't go anywhere, because literally in like a few minutes, I'm going to be hopping over with Ty for me and him to talk about and give our thoughts on the Batman. So look forward to that. But until then, everyone, again, thank you all for joining us. And as we always say here at the Pop Culture Corner, we do it for you, and we do it for the culture. I'm still finding where stuff is at. There we go.